Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio. EB Radio. EB Radio. Your station for empowerment presents Mom Boss Talk Radio, a show that brings real life, real moms, and real experiences to empower mom bosses everywhere to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. Mom Boss Talk Radio begins now.
Welcome, mom bosses all over the world. It's another amazing Thursday, and that means it's time for another great discussion with the mom bosses. I am very excited you're joining. This show is about three mom bosses bringing you real life, real experiences to empower you as a mom boss. I am one of your hosts, Monyetta, and Jerisha and Kiana. They'll join us on another episode. Now, I was kind of thinking, what am I in the process of doing at this moment? And that is networking. Okay. Now, if you're like me, I am an introvert. I am not really a big people person. Okay. And that is something that I am learning to, I'm working on. Okay. It is a work in progress. I find solitude within myself. But especially if you're going to be in this business or, trying to get into business, you really need to learn how to be able to talk to people, engage with people, and build connections and relationships with people. And that's what I am in the process of doing. And I think I'm doing it very slowly, but it is working. It is definitely working. And you know me in good old Pinterest, okay? Looking for tips or ways to elevate yourself in all different aspects of your life, Pinterest is the way to go. So I'm like, networking tips. Let's go through them, shall we? So this is a list of things that I found for if you're in the process of trying to network and trying to find um find groups to go to, or business functions to go to, just to kind of build your brand and build your community. So the first tip into building your network is do your research. And when I read that, I was like, how am I doing my research? Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, it says find out ahead of time who will be at an event. Research them on Google or LinkedIn and know who you want to connect with, which makes a lot of sense. Um, and I guess you can do, when you're, if you're 9 to 5, or if you have a history of working a 9 to 5, that's what we typically do anyway, right? We research the information, the company, who works at that company. So that way we can get a better understanding of the facility and ask great questions. So I'm like, hey, I'm already experienced in research. So that makes a lot of sense, especially with a function. I'm pretty sure like a lot of business functions either be on Zoom or in person. They will have a small roster of, you know, um, people who may be there, maybe just their companies. It may not be the individuals themselves, but it really depends on what the function is. But I think that's a really great tip, is to definitely do your research and to know who aligns with your your personality and your business, and who might be a good fit for your growing network. The second tip is to ask simple questions. Um, I could be a nervous wreck. I might not know what to ask, or I might be awkward in situations. But it says to get the conversation started, just ask, may I join you? Or what business are you in? So I guess simplicity is the most important, just kind of like icebreakers, just to kind of get your foot in the door. Okay. And I also want to preface by saying, when you're networking, not only to look at it as a business, but also look at it as personal growth, or some people are people that will be in your life for a long time. And I think that's where I look at the networking part of, the whole thing is I don't want temporary people in my life. I don't want, I want people to grow with me, to actually build relationships outside of business. I think that's very important. Um, have connections and things like that is great. But I also think that having the long-term connections are wonderful too. The next tip, ditch the pitch. Okay, forget the sales pitch. Stay informal and focus on building relationships. People are more apt to do business or give referrals to people they enjoy, not a salesperson. Exactly, like I was stating before, it has to be meaningful. I'm not a salesperson per se, so, I'm also working on that as well. But I'm more of a, building a rapport, building a relationship, building something that will definitely be long lasting, and not going into a huge a sales pitch. No, I don't think that's, needed, because if your personality connects with someone else's personality, it'll be natural. It'll fall into place. So there won't be any need to be a salesperson. Okay. 4, flash a smile. Don't forget to flash those pearly whites. You will put others at ease and come across as friendly and approachable. Now, now. Okay. Okay. I don't even know where to start. Okay. So with me, my feelings, you can see on my face. I have that type of, expression. Like, you will know how I feel in any situation just based on my face, my facial expressions. And it's not, I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just that's the emotion. It's just reflected onto my face. So it's like, okay, how do you turn it off? Um and maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you can play up that, if you have that type of personality, or you happen to have, wear your feelings on your face. um Maybe you can use that to your advantage. Maybe that may help the situation in some, weird way, I guess. If they see your discomfort, or see that you're kind of like, maybe the conversation can shift to a different dynamic. Girl, I don't know. I just know what I tend to do. People say it to me all the time, like, "Oh my goodness, we know how you feel just by looking at you." Good. I don't think that's a bad thing, but in these certain situations, I guess that's something I'm gonna have to work on. I completely understand of being able to grow and making the necessary changes, especially if it's something that you really, really want to do, and I really want to step out of my comfort zone. I really want to start having these conversations, and building lasting relationships that could possibly turn into lasting friendships. I want to find my people, find my energy, and I feel like they're out there. I just have to put myself out there, and if I have to, figure out how to put a smile on my face when I don't feel like it, I guess I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, so the next is taking notes. Okay, it says, made a good connection. Take a moment to jot down a note on their business card for more specific follow up. Okay, so I'm looking at that as, if you had a great, conversation, and it went really, really well, like maybe, jot down a memorable topic that you spoke about. That's something that you seem to be passionate about. That's what I'm looking and taking from that. um you know if you have a business card, definitely make sure you share it and you pass it around, um to make sure, people can stay connected with you, um as well as, just taking, um you know maybe even if you speak to so many people in one day or maybe evening, and you just want to try to remember who's who based on the conversations, that might be a good idea to jot down, hey, such and such, likes, you know, reading books about, self-help, some things like that. So you can kind of pinpoint who is who. Um, or maybe even jot down something that they wore that stuck out to you, like, oh, she wore beautiful gold hoop earrings or something like that. I think that's a good idea, so that way, because especially if you're new to those settings, I think it'll be advantageous to try to help your memory stay in order or organized, in a sense, if that makes any sense. So I think that's a great idea, to take notes and to keep yourself on track of building those relationships. Okay. Ooh, share the wealth. That's another tip. Okay. It says, be willing to share your contacts and referrals. Do this in sincerity without necessarily expecting something in return. Yes, I like that one because I am always a proponent of sharing resources, sharing knowledge, and providing people with things that could definitely elevate them. So I think sharing the wealth, if you have contacts, if you are in deep conversation with someone and they're like, hey, I'm in a need of, X, Y, and Z, and you happen to know someone who provides a service for X, Y, and Z, why not let them know? It always doesn't have to have a fee attached to it. It doesn't always have to be you share, I share, do it, you know, just because it's the right thing to do. I don't expect things in return when I do things for others. It just it's a it just feels good for me to be able to provide that. It's like I did something great. It's a wonderful feeling to do that. So I think that's a share it. Share what you know. Share the wealth. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? Okay. And then the last one on this list is follow up. Ooh, don't forget to follow up. If you have had an awesome exchange, ask how you can continue the conversation. Follow up through email or social media within 48 hours of the event. Now, that is something I'm going to have to really, practice and really dive into because for me, I'm like, I don't want to feel pushy. I don't want to feel like I'm, doing too much. But of course, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't say anything, no one will know. So you definitely want to be able to follow up, share your thoughts, maybe, bring up like, hey, I remembered you said that you loved these certain type of cookies. I saw a place da 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 that you may love, and da 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 da. So like starting like conversations based on the conversation that you've already had, and just kind of, going through that process. Now, for me, I'm gonna just let you know, I'm still working on all of these tips, and I'm gonna make sure I take these tips and I'm going to, utilize them because there's a few things that are happening in my area that I definitely want to, I definitely want to try to attend and, you know, hopefully make great connections. It's very exciting. I'm already, making connections on different platforms and staying in contact and, showing love and support for their businesses and highlighting them. And with that, I see that is kind of being reciprocated, which is a great feeling to have because, I want to be able to support. And I'm doing this just because I wholeheartedly enjoy their content and I don't expect anything else. I don't expect a reply. I don't expect anything really from it. It's just I enjoy the content. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful, and why not share with the people that are following me, share that there are awesome people out in the world that people should look into. So I definitely feel like those tips those tips are going to elevate my networking to the highest. I feel like I'm already in that mindset of talking to people. I'm already in that mindset of connecting. I've been doing a lot of connecting on LinkedIn. I've been doing a lot of connecting on Instagram, and look, I love me some Instagram. Okay, now if you are a proponent of Instagram and you love it as much as I do, follow your girl. Okay, my personal introvert with wings is introvert underscore with underscore wings. Follow me. I post literally every day on there, mostly stories, but I love Instagram. Also, I am rebranding. Yes, rebranding. I'm changing my business name. I'm changing it all because my vision has definitely changed. I'm looking at the bigger picture, so I will be changing that. So update on the new name coming soon. Um, also, finally conceded. Also on Instagram, you can follow me on there as well. That is the podcast that I have. It's more of it's a little more intimate, a little more, more into my emotional, mental development and growth and just lifestyle, fashion, things of that nature on that side. And also, Mom Boss Talk Radio on Facebook. Please follow. We had the most amazing, amazing book club over there. Great conversation. And we're planning on doing more. So you do not want to miss out. You don't want to miss any more conversations. Like, we are having a ball over there, having great conversations, motivating, supporting, empowering. Like, we're doing it all. And I don't want y'all to miss it. Okay, not at all. Like, don't miss out on the greatness. We'll be doing some giveaways soon. So come join the family, and all of the great things. Okay. I am your host, Manietta. I'm happy you tuned in. We are Mom Bosses on a mission to empower moms all over the world. Mom Bosses, remember to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. You are making moves. You got this.
Thank you for joining us on Mom Boss Talk Radio. Follow each of the Mom Bosses on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love Mom Boss Radio, visit the website at www.envisionedbroadcasting.com. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.